Welcome to the Think Small podcast, hypergrowth for small businesses. So, what's slowing you down?
Hello and welcome everyone to the Think Small podcast. My name is Monica of MD Inc. I'm here today with Melissa Brown. She is a COO of Gravity Consulting and so much more. Welcome to the show today, Melissa. Thank you for being here.
Thanks so much for having me. I'm excited to talk with you.
Of course. So if you can, for our audience, just share a little bit about what Gravity Consulting is.
Yeah, we're a consulting firm. We specialize in senior living and home health. I have a real passion for working with older adults, as does everyone on my team. And we wear an awful lot of hats, but I think the easiest way to say it is that we help senior living providers solve problems that are complicated, important, and really hard to move the needle on internally. And we love to embed ourselves with our clients. You know, a lot of times if someone comes to us and says, hey, I know I have a problem, can you help me figure it out? They already know they have the problem. They don't need me to tell them they have the problem. They need me to help them solve it. And so that's really our focus and our goal in Gravity, is to help them actually implement those changes.
So when you're talking about problems, is it patient problems or administrative problems? What does that look like from a COO perspective?
You know, we're really looking to solve organizational challenges. So one of the things that we do right now, we call it hybrid therapy. So historically, therapy in senior living has been run by a third-party vendor, contract therapy. And, you know, under the old payment structure, that made a lot of sense, you know, but that payment structure died a little over 5 years ago. And in this new era called PDPM, for those that aren't familiar with it, it just doesn't make sense to continue with contract rehab. And the end result is that patients are not getting the therapy that they need. They're getting short-changed on minutes when they're there for a short stay, and long-term care patients are barely getting treated by therapists as well. So we bring in a model where we bring all the expertise and oversight associated with contract rehab, but allow you to go in-house and kind of cut out the middleman, cut out that cost, and really achieve much better quality of services. And we tend to double their margins within 1 year by going with this model, as opposed to sort of the traditional contract therapy model.
That's fantastic. And you help them bridge that from what they had to this new model.
Yes. And then we stay there for the long term to help them, because the truth is, a therapy department, like many aspects of senior living, doesn't run itself. So we really try to find sort of that sweet spot of what's the right amount of support to give our clients that allows it to be cost effective and allows them to see long-term value. We have clients that have been with Gravity since I first started over 10 years ago. And 100% of our clients come back for repeat business, because we really try to deliver value at every single engagement.
That's incredible. So you're looking out essentially for these assisted living or elder living centers.
Yes, a lot of times you're working with nursing homes, assisted living, independent living, and also home health. And one of the unique gaps that we bridge is helping senior living communities start their own home health, initially to serve their own clientele on campus, but also eventually to reach the greater community, which is wonderful for building brand loyalty, brand awareness, and also just the opportunity to take your understanding and knowledge and the ability to provide excellent care as a senior living provider out into the community.
Absolutely. That's incredible. So when you're looking at your clients and you're helping them grow, essentially, how many beds are they monitoring, or clients are they monitoring when they start versus when you are fully implemented?
Yeah, so usually our focus is not necessarily on growth. They usually already have a pretty healthy census, or they are in the right direction with that. It's about managing what they have in most cases. In many areas, there's a lot of competition in senior living. So we have helped clients significantly increase their census, whether that was on the personal care side or on the nursing home side, by enhancing the therapy services, improving the marketing approaches, things like that. But really our focus is more on quality and financial accuracy. We find consistently over and over again, clients are not doing the things they need to do to get the reimbursement they deserve for the services they're already providing. And so we either are enhancing systems or documentation processes, or just helping to educate the staff so the right coding goes in the right place in the medical chart so they get the reimbursement that they deserve. And, you know, that can be a huge impact. It can be $10 to $40 per patient per day. Yeah. Which, you know, you put that over 100 patients, that's an awful lot of reimbursement.
Absolutely. That could be another head count.
No, for sure.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's fantastic. So when you are talking about improving marketing approach, what does that look like for some of your clients?
It's really fascinating to see the gaps that can sometimes exist. So one of our specialties in Gravity is actually approaching single site organizations or senior living communities that just have a handful of buildings. And one client I can think of, he has 6 buildings. It was started by his father. Him and his brother own things, which is always difficult. In this current market, new buildings get built all the time with these lovely individual rehab suites for each person and a very hospitality focused. So how do you take this older property and reimagine it so that it's appealing to people in the market today? So our focus has been improving their quality measures. We went in and totally revamped therapy, and we even recommended that they revamp the gyms. So they were just very exercise focused, and that's a really outdated model. It should be much more functionally focused. So we got kitchens in there so that they could do kitchen tasks with people that needed to be able to do those things when they go back home and other functional things. Yeah. And sometimes it's the most surprising gaps. It is a total lack of any presence on Facebook or no approach to Google reviews that's actually achieving success. You go on and read a couple of the Google reviews and it's very clear that they're not real. Right. They're probably from a disgruntled former employee, but there's no response from management and there's no positive reviews to create all that and help the public actually see the truth. So putting those initiatives in place that make sure that the great providers out there that are often these single site or a couple site communities actually have the opportunity to play at a level playing field with, someone like Brookdale or Axe who have, 50, 100, 150 communities.
Absolutely. That's such a good point. And I think that's true for all small businesses, not utilizing Google reviews or Google My Business as they could. And it's often a free or really low cost service. And even if you offer like a $5 Starbucks gift card, people are thrilled to get $5 in this economy. So it doesn't cost much. And I think the cost is greater of not asking for those referrals or those reviews or whatever that looks like. So now let's switch to Gravity. What does your Google page look like?
We are always constantly focused on that and making sure our newest initiative right now is making our Google page and our web page really AI focused. Yeah. So thinking about if you go on Google today and you Google something, the first thing that's going to come up is Gemini's response. And let's all be honest, even if you're paying for those high value keywords, you're probably not going to get seen. Most of us just look at what Gemini says. The links are right there. We follow its recommendation and we assume it's good advice. So really thinking from the ground up, how is your Google set up and how is your website set up so that AI is going to think to recommend you for the services that you provide. And, that's not as simple as just putting some keywords on your webpage. You really need to have authoritative resources that help demonstrate the value that you bring to client, case studies, things like that, that really help to establish you as an authority in AI site.
Yeah, I get that. And I think, back in the day, I've been doing SEO for 15 years. Getting to position 0 was like the bee's knees, where you couldn't pay for that position. It was just something that was crawled. And there were times where we promoted, I don't know if I can say it, the name of it, but we promoted one company's new cell phone. And we were on position 0 for 5 days before the company was able to overtake us. And this is back in my eBay days. And I was like, this is incredible. We had been doing such a consistently good job. And I'm like, we beat the manufacturer of the actual product in like one of their primary products. So you dealing with AI and trying to be that position, maybe 00, right? It's like you're just above it. How are you finding that? Are you becoming frustrated with this as a growth plan for your website?
No, we actually are very engaged with it. Me and my chief marketing officer really diving deep and taking so much time with each step, each layer to make sure we've done all that SEO research. We've done the AI research. We're looking at multiple AI platforms, asking the same query and seeing who it's suggesting, researching our competitors and figuring out how are they getting suggested by AI, and then making sure we have a more compelling statement or platform or authoritative document on our website. So it's something I envision taking us a solid 3 to 6 months for 2 people to be consistently working on it every single day. My chief marketing officer, it's his primary job for the next 6 months, but it'll totally be worth it in the long run. I think there's a bit of an AI race right now. I think if you can get that AI authority and people click on the link and then don't keep searching, I think you'll be able to be ahead of people that wait 6, 12, 24 months to do it.
And I'm curious too, again, I'm of the marketing hat generation. When you are gearing up for SEO for AI with your company, there are features in certain browsers where you can disable AI results. What is your confidence that you'll still be able to come up organically?
Yeah, that is sort of like the $1 million question, right?
Yeah.
The truth is, in our business, our our target audience is so niche and so tiny. It's usually one person out of the 500 employees that work in that senior living community. And so we've honestly not found tremendous amount of success focusing a lot on SEO. What we have done is we've really narrowed our focus and said we only want people with these types of titles and for these specific words. So we don't spend a lot on it. If we do, we're getting something out of it because it's the right person looking for the right thing. But we've actually found other non-SEO methodology to work a lot better. And just those authoritative documents, we talked about that payment structure, PDPM. We have a lot of white papers about PDPM posted on our website that we've done, and research studies that we've done, because that kind of authority gives you that organic
100%.
value without having to pay for it.
Right. And it's content heavy. So you will drive that traffic organically. That's amazing. Good job. my hat.
I'm a great marketing guy.
Yeah. Hats off to you. So you're looking at growth within your company and growth within your market and hopefully beating out those competitors that you had mentioned. Can you talk to us a little bit about what the maybe 3 to 5 year growth plan looks like for Gravity Consulting?
Yeah, we're really hoping to double our business within the next year. We've had some really great recent engagements. We went to a leading age Southeast conference, and they have something called Client Connection. And I hope that other conferences in our business do this. So I've heard of these before, but this is the most successful one of these I've ever seen. So basically, you pay more than you would pay for the expo. You get put in a separate section, and you get guaranteed one-on-one meeting with C-suite executives that are attending the conference. And so we got 12 one-on-one meetings, and I wouldn't be surprised if we signed 9 or 10 contracts out of it, which is way more than we normally get from an expo. Sometimes we go to expos and we're super prepared and we've got everything we need and we get no business out of it. It just is not where executives are making decisions today.
Absolutely. I know there are so many where it doesn't matter what's happening on the conference room floor. The after parties is really where you get to meet the people. It's a wild time because it's about who you know, not necessarily what you know.
Yeah. And it's so much more in our business about word of mouth. Getting referrals from our clients and having them serve as references for us, and speaking engagements. Anytime we can speak at reputable conferences, we're going to make that happen because we always get business out of that. That is always a high value for us.
Absolutely. Yeah. If the right people are in the room, there's no complaints.
Yeah.
Incredible. So you're looking at expos, conferences, speaking engagements as forms of getting more partnerships or more clients, right? How long is your average engagement?
We are all over the place. We have some people that have us just come in and do a couple rounds of audits, and it might last 3 or 4 months, and we've fixed the problem and kind of move on. Most of our clients remain our clients permanently. So they might bring us on initially, hey, we want you to do some MDS audits for PDPM reimbursement and help us figure out where we're missing the mark, or help us know if we're compliant or not compliant. And we'll do a couple rounds of those, and their rates go up so much, they're like, please do another round, please do another round. And like 2 years later, we've kind of exhausted that opportunity and the momentum there. And so we might switch to long-term care and look at CMI. They might bring us in to run therapy for them. We might talk to them about opening a home health agency. So, we've had clients, like I said, that go all the way back to the beginning of when I started in Gravity 10 years ago that are permanent clients of ours. We're overseeing rehab for them. We're doing MDS. We just placed a unit manager in their building for them today. So, we offer so many services to our clients that oftentimes if they need something, they can check us first before having to go find another vendor. And we find in senior living in particular, clients really want a one-stop shop. They love a consultant that can wear a lot of hats and solve a lot of problems rather than having to find a new consultant for every problem that comes up. So we really try to be that master of many trades rather than the jack of some trades, master of many trades on behalf of our clients.
Understood. That's fantastic. And I think that model being so adaptable is a benefit, is a value add to your clients or your customers. And as you're looking at growing out the company in the next 3 to 5 years in the ways that you just mentioned, what's stopping you from reaching that within the next year?
It's really figuring out how we can get in front of the right people. That's been sort of the $1 million question that I'm not sure we've cracked yet. But one of the things we're certainly going to try is reaching out to some of the other leading age state affiliates. And for those who don't know, leading age is sort of the nonprofit provider advocacy group. They're the biggest name in the business. And So we are involved with a lot of the different state organizations and do presentations and go to conferences and stuff with them. And we want to talk with them and take this client connection idea to them because it was so successful for us. I think it was very successful for Leading Age Southeast from talking with their leadership. It's a really positive, profitable scenario for them. And the participants said they got a lot out of it as well. So it's kind of like a win-win-win. And we would love to do this at other conferences. So we're hopeful to leverage some of our connections and say, hey, you guys should try this. We'll definitely participate if you do it.
Yeah, that's incredible. And I mean, what I'm hearing is that your business is so people focused, not just the elderly that your clients serve, it's you serving those who serve the elderly, right? And that one-to-one connection at a conference, that one-to-one meeting seems like it's the crux of your success because these are not small engagements, right? You're not coming in to do 100 hours of work. It might be thousands of hours of work, or tens of years in your case. So the company itself, as you're growing in this way, how else is it expanding? Are you adding headcount? Are you adding additional offices around the country yet?
Yeah, so we're all fully remote, which is great. We do have a corporate office, but interestingly, it has an axe throwing bar in it and an outpatient rehab center in it, and nobody ever goes there. So we're all fully remote. Yeah. We are looking to add new headcount, and it is exciting. I cannot wait to add some new people to the team, but also it's a huge responsibility because it's super important to me to find the right people. And I 100%. Think that is one of the things we have figured out at Gravity. I think it's one of the things I'm the most proud of. My team is incredible. Every single person on my team is self-motivated, doesn't need managed, doesn't need micromanaged, understands what the mission is totally dedicated. And we all try to have a good work-life balance at the same time, So we've been able to sort of crack the nut on how to find the right people. And our secret to that is not posting the same job ad that everybody else is posting. A lot of job ads are posted saying, you're going to be this and do this. Well, you already know that. I'm an occupational therapist. You're going to do occupational therapy. You don't need me to tell you that. What you need me to tell you as a job seeker is, what about you is different from all the other jobs I could take out there? Yeah. And so we really try to write a short and sweet. It's usually 3 to 5 sentences is our job ad. It's targeted, like if you're this kind of person, this is the job for you. And this is what makes us different. And you will be amazed. We spend almost nothing on recruiting, and we are able to get great people on our team, usually within a week or two, by just having the right type of job ads and, having a unique approach at interviewing as well.
Yeah, I think you hire more than just the role. You hire the person, right?
For sure.
And their history, what their value add is. I keep saying that, but it's true where you're not just, an OT is going to do what an OT does.
Yeah, right.
Right. But what else makes them a human? What makes them relatable to the clients that they're going to serve on behalf of that company? Are they aligned with the brand values? Are they aligned with the core values? Are they aligned with the mission? Like, that's all super important. They need to be enthusiastic and aligned from day one. The skills can be learned.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. I think one of the things that's really interesting too in the interviews, I started doing this partway through COVID, and I sort of call it the Trump question, not to be political here, but remember during his first election cycle, the most accurate answer was when the pollers asked people, who is your neighbor going to vote for? So the question goes like this. Of the last 100 people you've worked closely with, how many of them are just not a fan of you? And there's usually a long, awkward silence as people sort of process the question. And the ideal answer is somewhere between like 1 to 5 people is probably not a fan of you. You would be amazed at how many people say, oh, like half. And that's a good opportunity to just end the interview at that point usually. But then if they tell you, their number, then I'd say of those couple of people, what do you think they tell me is what you could stand to improve upon? And what's fascinating is if you ask somebody what their strengths and weaknesses are, they've got a canned answer, right? Everybody plans for that.
Right.
They don't plan for this. And so people are actually more transparent and accurate about what their true strengths and weaknesses are through the eyes of their colleagues, rather than if you ask them that question directly. And then I finish it by saying, what would your top 5 fans say are your greatest strengths? And I found it to be 100% accurate. Whatever they tell me, those strengths and weaknesses really are their strengths and weaknesses. So it helps me hone in on who's going to be the right fit for this position.
Yeah, that's amazing. We often don't want to put the mirror on ourselves, but we can understand what the reflection is in other people.
Yes. I've just been surprised how accurate it is. I mean, I've probably interviewed 100 people in the last 5 years for various positions, and that question has always given me the actual answer of who somebody turned out to be.
I might have to borrow that if that's okay.
Just be prepared for the awkward silence, because there's always an awkward silence after you ask.
No such thing as an awkward silence to me. Give me 5 minutes of silence. Sounds great. Fantastic, Melissa. Well, I thank you for your time. And how can people reach you if they want to know more?
Oh, feel free to reach out to me on LinkedIn. And of course, you can always find us on the Gravity website as well.
Fantastic. So thank you again, Melissa, for your time today. Signing off, my name is Monica Demo for the Think Small podcast. Take care.
Thank you.
Welcome to the Think Small podcast, hypergrowth for small businesses. So, what's slowing you down?